You guys hear me? Are you guys in? Um, Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if everything sounds good. Let me know if you guys can see us. Again, we was having a little bit of technical difficulties because we decided to schedule the live video instead of just going live. You guys can hear us? Okay. So the topic today, of course, I'm sure you guys already know, is going to be um okay. Today we're gonna talk about marriage and in-laws. Hmm, That's who won. I did the vote between. I put the polls up for marriage and in-laws versus sex. So marriage and in-laws won. So we're gonna do marriage and in-laws. And to me, first come marriage and then comes in-laws.
Well, not to me. To
No.
me, I would consider my in-laws first before I jump into marriage. Because if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you and take on your whole life, I would want to know how your family operates. See my point of view?
I do, but to me, they don't matter.
That's not true. That is not true. I don't agree with you on this one. They do matter.
They do, but then they don't. Like, all right, they do matter, but they're not like a super duper big deal to me. Because my thing is, if you don't deal with your in laws and you don't get along with them, then what does that mean? Like, you can't move on with your life, you can't be married, you can't have a life.
No, but if they are in your life, which your mother is,
Mm-hmm.
I would want to know how your mother operates or how she
Well,
is
yeah,
because
that's
that's a
true.
reflection of you.
That's true.
So I think either way you put it, whether they're not or that should be touched before marriage.
Okay.
Cool?
So,
Alright.
okay, so I agree. Okay, so we're gonna do names of the topic is marriage and in-laws. Everybody agree with Bob? Okay, all right. I agree too. The way he explained it to me at first, I didn't agree because I feel like they're not a major impact.
It depends on the family. But I think
I guess I agree because we're talking about us personally. I don't deal with his family at all. 110, 100,000%. I do not deal with his family at all, and we've been going, and we're still going, and we're going extremely strong, and we're still here. I
but
don't deal with
but to
them.
mention that you do have some sense of how I treat my family because of my dealings with my family. You
Right.
can tell how I am as a person because of certain aspect of my family. That's
Right.
why I feel like before marriage, the discussion of in-laws, that should definitely be a
Okay,
topic.
I agree.
Okay,
I
I'm
already
just
agree.
giving you a reason as to why I said that.
No, I thoroughly understand.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about in-laws first, and then we're gonna talk about marriage. So I want you to do this first. I want you to take the lead on this one first.
Well, with in-laws, the big thing to me is if the parents of your spouse are in their lives, they're going to play a major aspect within your marriage. How they raised you, how they take care of you, the manner in which they involve themselves in your marriage or your children. So when it comes to in-laws, I really think it's best to get to know each other's in-laws. Period. And if they're not in their life, make it to where that option is still going to be available. The reason I say that, I'm going to use Shatia for example. When I never met her father, I have no reason to want to because I just feel like he's not the type of person that I would want to meet. But her mother, when I got to meet her mother for the very first time, I learned a lot about Shatia. I learned about their family aspects because they're a very close knit family. So before I even really tried to build with Shatia, I already had some sense of aspects of how they relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons why I say in-laws are very important because I also knew that if I was to take on being in a relationship with Shatia, being that she already had a child too, I was going to have to deal with her mother. Understand the type of woman her mother was. She's very much in tune with her children. She likes to be in every aspect of the children's lives, which I agree with to an extent. So the reason why I'm pushing that was because I had to learn her mother, learn how her mother operates, and still be respectable to her mom, but not let her mother over push boundaries, which is a very tricky slope. It's very difficult at times. It depends on the person, on the type of in-law. Like I'm very close to my father as of now. My father was not, he wasn't pro Shatia and Jabbar, but over time, me putting my foot down as well, he learned
Nobody
to
was
cope
pro
with
Shatia and
balance.
Bob.
There actually was my aunt Sakina. Louisa,
A
which is my
handful of
sister's.
people.
So, but I'm just proving the point that there was, and the many friends that we did have. But the reason I'm stating that is, in-laws play a very crucial part in a marriage. Period.
That's true. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I sound like I'm contradicting myself a little because I'm like they don't matter.
No, no,
But
I have
then
that effect. I have that
do.
effect. I can make you change your
No,
perspective.
that wasn't the
I can
case.
make you
I was
change your
doing
perspective.
it more on just us.
I can make you change your perspective.
It's not that. It's I was just doing it more on us. Like
I
instead
have-
of just speaking in general, but us voicing our opinion in general.
But if
I
you-
was speaking more on us.
Okay.
The reason why I feel like they don't matter is because I don't deal with them at all, and we're still here.
But, and that's why I disagree with you. They did matter. You can say they don't matter now, but as an aspect
They
of our
mattered because they
relationship-
had an impact on certain things and situations, attitudes,
So that's why I would
arguments,
say
and things
it's
like
an
that.
influence.
So
I can see
I
why you
know,
say
but that's
don't
why I
matter
said
now.
I feel like I'm contradicting myself because I agree with you after you broke down what you were saying, and it wasn't because you had that effect. It was simply because
If you take this into account, the way I presented it to you, the way I laid it out and explained it to you, I had a way of a reason to persuade you into letting you something different. Okay, go ahead. You can take it over. I just don't get no credit. I see.
Okay, everybody on here is agreeing with you. Like everybody. Okay, anyways, as far as in-laws go, I feel like mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, everybody, they question the relationship. When I say that, I mean like if it's going bad, it's questionable. Like they ought one bad situation can deter them from the person instantly. Like no matter what the person did good, no matter how they are with your children outside of their children, no matter how they are in the relationship overall, none of that matters when one situation happens. When it's a one fuck up. One fuck up will cause it to be fucked up overall. To me, in the in-laws' eyes. Because they feel like just that situation overall is like, oh, okay, no, oh, okay, you don't need to be with that person. So basically, like, fuck everything else. Fuck all the good shit and everything prior to that. One bad situation can mess up everything overall. For the most part, my whole family, literally, except my dad, was pro-law. Everybody was just all for him. Everybody still currently is all for him. And I mean, outside of a recent situation with my mom, but everybody is on him. And I feel like because we showed and proved that, you know what I mean? Us together as a team, we showed and proved like this is what he doing. Even though there was bad situations and bad things going on, we still showed and proved like, listen, this is what we can do. This is how we're handling certain situations. And I feel like that's a big deal. When you can handle fucked up situations or good situations, explaining that to in-laws can be like, to me, very good. Like that can be helpful to the relationship as well. As far as me and Bar, when I say I don't get along with his family, it's not that I don't like them or I can't stand them. I don't deal with them. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no hate, it's no, oh, I can't. No. I just don't deal with them. Like, that's it. Like, it doesn't stop me from when he invites me to come with him to certain functions. I still go. I'm still very respectful. I don't disrespect nobody in his family. I don't get crazy with nobody in his family. I don't do any of that. So, that's, I guess, why I took it as they don't really matter, but then they do at the same token because I'm not walking around like, oh, y'all don't matter. When I come to an event, it's not like, oh, y'all don't matter. Like, it's regular. It is what it is. So as far as in-laws go, what's your intake on your in-laws?
My intake on my in-laws is understanding your relationship first before you broadcast it to your family. Like the reason why I don't really have much of an issue in terms of my father and my mother, I really don't disclose much of my relationship to them. As long as I'm happy and I'm doing well for myself, that's their major concern. The second I try to discuss things with my father about my relationship as a man, I would see later on that wasn't the best decision. Simply because I'm a man, I don't like people to know everything I'm doing, and I would prefer to keep certain things alone. And I know his opinion is going to be slanted to a certain degree. So with me, in terms of in-laws, always show respect, try to have an understanding, and just try to have a mutual relationship. Trying to do the extra stuff to me is when problems occur.
Yeah.
Because you start to differentiate between your family and her family.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys become married and you guys become one, yeah, she's your family, but her family is still going to be her family first. And I think a lot of times in relationships, people get that confused. That happened to me at one time. There's many times where I, it, I second guess my relationship because I have to understand first that Shatia's family. As happy as we can be, as much of a family we are, and as much as I love your family, yes, but that's your family first, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that understanding and balance comes to play in terms of your parents.
I have a question from via YouTube.
Okay.
The question was, do you think you will ever deal with them? Honestly, at this point, no. It's not really. I mean, we've been together for however long, and I haven't. So for the most part, my personal opinion, no, I don't think I would ever, like deal with them. But it's a selected few that I do actually deal with.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that.
Like at this point, I deal with majority. Well, his immediate. I deal with his immediate. As far as like everybody, you know what I mean? It's not like that. But like when I see like his brother, I speak. When I see like if I was to see his father, I'll speak. Like everybody in his family, I speak to. You know what I mean? But like dealing with them, like how he is with my family, like going to family functions and hanging out, partying with family and doing things like that. I personally don't think that I will get that point with his family because we haven't gotten there thus far. You know what I mean? So, that's what I feel
not a bad thing. Like it's not a bad thing. As long as there's a mutual respect between both parties, I don't really care
like,
too
no
much
disrespect.
if Shatia or my family aren't this close. I personally don't like that anyway. I don't like for my woman to be this close with my sister or this close with my mother. No, not at all.
I guess it worked out in your favor then.
Well, yeah, I mean, to an extent, there were times it was difficult for me because I would have preferred to have you around my family or be able to discuss certain things or get advice. But I learned how to play both parts. I'm not gonna cry because you guys aren't together, but I'm not also gonna have the greatest time if you are. I just learned to take the punches as it comes.
I feel like now I answered your question. Now back to what you were just saying, like pertaining to the in-laws and everything like that. Well, answer that question.
All right. So before we go on, we got a question. This is the question. Do you think that not dealing with them being your in-laws, affects your relationship?
No.
I disagree. I think it depends on the relationship with the in-laws from that spouse. So me personally, before anything happened in terms of status of now with Shatia, for me not to deal with her mother would not have been a good thing. Because the aspects of our relationship revolved around her mother being involved.
Yeah, like
so it varies and depends.
I speak and I spoke to my mom like about everything. You know what I mean? Like
everything.
I spoke to her pretty much about everything. Like she knew the good, she knew the bad, she knew like everything. Like my mother was in our relationship. We lived with my mom. Like she was in our relationship. Like she also dictated as a parent how I should be or how he should be with my daughter. You know what I mean? Like she was all the way involved. So as far as like not dealing with your in-laws affecting the relationship, to me it depends. It depends on the relationship. It depends on the relationship. Like for instance, me, like I'm close to my mother. I'm close to my sister. I'm close to my brother. So if he would have came in the relationship not fucking with nobody, to me that would have been an issue for me and him. That would have been an issue for me and his relationship. Exactly. He was always the distant one from his family. He was always the more, he was around, but he wasn't around. You know what I mean? Like everybody loved Ball, but he was around and he wasn't around. You know what I mean? So as the relationship that I shared with my mom, he didn't have with his mom. The relationship that I shared with my brother and my sister, he didn't share with them. So it wasn't like a big, it's not, to me, it doesn't really affect us much because it depends on your relationship. So I feel like walking into the relationship or walking into the situation not knowing it and just going off of whatever you want it to be can affect the relationship. I just feel like if you can thoroughly understand the type of relationship you have with your person, like your spouse, then you can understand the type of relationship you should have with your in-laws.
Okay, so we have so there was a question. Someone asked, why wouldn't you, me speaking to Jabal, want Tia to be close with your sister or your mother? Okay, this is the reason why I don't prefer that. I think when women get together, they lose sight of rationality. Meaning, my sister is my sister, right? If Shatia and my sister became close, Shatia is gonna feel an entitlement to my sister. There will be a time when that balance goes away because my sister will revolve around me first. So if something were to go wrong, or Shatia was to do something and my sister was to tell me, that would be a conflict of interest. If Shatia and my sister were close, and my sister was fond of me being with somebody else or agrees with somebody else, that could be a conflict of interest. I just like to stay away from those things.
I feel like you feel
that's
like
too
that
close.
because you dealt with that already.
I've dealt with that in the past. So I would just rather there be a mutual relationship.
I agree.
Speak when it's time, but when they try to become best friends and do that, I think that's negative. That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't become like me and her brother are very close, but I'm not going to assume the role like, oh my God, that's my brother. No, because I understand that, yo, we have a great relationship. I love him like he's my brother. But if me and Shatia were to not deal with each other, he would be pro Tia. Whoever Tia would consider to be with next, that's who he would agree with.
That part is wrong.
So, but she says that, but it's not like he's gonna be on some, yo,
don't
talk to him. No, you're not gonna do this right now. No, he's not going to do that. So that's what I mean. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to respect you as a woman. But what I'm saying is, it comes into confusion when they start thinking, oh, that's my brother or they're sisters. I don't like to deal with that aspect, and I really don't like my family being too deep into my relationship. It's my relationship. So when things are good, I don't broadcast that. When things are bad, I don't broadcast that. I just show myself being happy, period, because I'm focused on my relationship, not what my family thinks about it or what they feel they need to involve themselves in.
Yeah. Somebody says, so she was the third wheel. Basically, I guess talking about my mom, like, so she was the third wheel. To an extent, she felt like that. But
listen,
she felt like that.
But her mother is an extremely fun person to be around when things are right. So I'm not gonna say it was the third wheel. No, it was more so like having guidance. There were times when me and Shatia weren't as old as we are now. We didn't understand certain things. She made it easier to understand. There were times we went out and it was extremely fun. So I'm not saying like a third wheel, but it depends on the relationship. Being that Shatia and her mother was so close, it wasn't difficult for me to try to come in and meet her mother. The same way I had my effect on Shatia, to an extent, I feel I had with her mother. I came in as a genuine person. I wasn't with the funny shit.
I agree. Do you guys feel like we touched enough bases on in-laws? Should we jump right into marriage, or you guys still have?
I mean, even if we touch marriage, it's gonna still jump to in-laws.
So, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for the most part, we had to get into depth about in-laws first, and then marriage.
I know your random point too. I know a lot of people don't hear this. Like when you think of in-laws, you really think of the mother aspect first. A lot of fathers really aren't that much involved, which I think is kind of weird because I'm not gonna be like that with my son. But just something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it depends on the relationship the person has with their father. Like, I have a selected few friends that's really close with their father, so their father is more involved than the mother.
I didn't get
and
close
don't
to my
have
father
that relationship with their mother.
Oh, see?
You know what I mean?
I know more moms in that aspect than I do
right, because there's a lot of single parenting going on. So I feel like when it comes to that, then yeah, definitely, you know, mothers are definitely more involved.
So you
as far as marriage, if you like it, then you should put a ring on it.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Wait, what don't you agree with? I didn't even say that. I was taking a song.
Okay.
So what don't you agree with?
The song.
Oh.
And I don't agree with the institution of marriage.
My thing with marriage, I have yet to see a successful marriage, so to me it's not a big deal.
I've seen one in my entire life.
To me it's not a big deal. To me, don't fix nothing that's not broken, okay? But everybody does not agree with me. Everybody feel like as a woman you would definitely want to have, you know, a husband, you would want to be married. No, as a woman you would definitely think or consider having kids. Like, you don't always think like, okay, I want to be married. Like, I need to be married. Like, no. Marriage. I feel like people nowadays are jumping straight into that shit. I feel like head first, not heart, not soul, mind,
I
body.
actually think it's more heart than head, and I think that's what used to really cause me to fear marriage.
That's true too.
And it depends. Like when we speak of marriage, we have to think of it from a man's aspect and a woman's aspect. So from a man's aspect, right? Let's just say I'm a man. I take care of my responsibilities. I have wealth. I'm making money. If I were to make one mistake in my marriage, my wife now has the power to conduct my entire life. If she wanted to leave, she would technically get half. In terms of the children, they always favor the female. If I'm unhappy because my wife doesn't make me happy in a relationship and I was to step out, she can leave and take everything. It's just not a win-win
Yeah.
situation for a man.
That's
There's
true.
nothing from benefiting to having that, except like maybe if we do it as a business. I have a business, you have a business, we can become a conglomerate. We
But
discuss
I guess that's
taxes
why
and
people
things.
sign.
It's prenup.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the same
I
time
just feel like
too.
some people are afraid to approach that situation with their spouse. Like, for instance, you have an abundance of money and you want to speak to me about signing a prenup. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
tricky, but I also
Some
think
people
too.
be like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to speak to my spouse about doing that. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
But I also think too, like, I don't feel well. I have money now, but I do feel like I'll be having a lot more pretty soon. Should I discuss a prenup with Shatia? That no, but then again, of course not, right? But now, see, this is me thinking with my heart, but it's my head. If I'm a businessman or someone that takes care of their business, so if I was to grow successfully financially, and let's say Shatia had no part in that, if we were to make a mistake in a marriage, she gets half of everything I get. That's not intelligent.
My thing is, people like us could get married. Because the money thing is not an issue. Because whether you have an abundance of money, a lot of money, whatever, I'm not broke. I'm not.
I understand that.
You know what I
I
mean?
understand
Like,
that.
I never lived off of you. I never tried to take from you. I never. You understand what
But
I'm
here's
saying?
the tricky part right now. When women get emotional, they forget all the rules. And that's my biggest fear about marriage.
That's true.
That is true. So she can say
We
this
do.
now and do this now, right? And make all these promises now. But if I make a mistake that hurts her deeply, all of that is out the window.
So don't make no mistakes.
Easier said than done. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. Neither is she. That's why I say marriage is so tricky to me. I can't expect, like, yo, with marriage, if we get married, we're married forever. I don't believe in divorces. I don't believe in us, oh, we're not married no more. No, so it's how can I give somebody the rest of my entire life and I'm not where I fully want to be yet? How can I'm as a husband, I'm supposed to provide, protect, and be able to take care of you. I know for a fact I'm not where I want to be in my life yet. I'm on a very good path. I will be there soon, but I'm not right now. That's why I think marriage is not something I would run into. I don't care how long it takes before you make that decision. I could be with Shatia 10 to 15 years. I'm not saying
Yeah, I also feel like jumping
gonna take
into
my
it is not a
time.
big deal because like valid points like that. Like I agree as well because like I have things and business plans that I'm working
Which
on
I
and
do
I'm
support.
doing for myself.
And I
Yeah,
like
that he definitely supports.
like
You know
that.
what I mean? And I'm doing it on my own. Like okay. I'm doing, those things on my own, and I'm starting them on my own, and I have big plans. You know what I mean? And it's like I do some shit, and who knows? He may act like a woman when it comes to that, and fuck around and take all I have. You know what I mean? Fuck around and try to take my kids too.
Yeah, but
So
also
it's
it's
like-
extremely more difficult for a man to do that. That's why I say women always have the upper hand in terms of a marriage.
I agree
Statistically,
with
even if
that
that would
too.
occur, the court system favors the woman, which is so unfair in today's society. But that's one
It's
of the
so
reasons.
unfair because there's a lot of asshole deadbeats. So it's just like it's more asshole deadbeat men than it is women. So I guess I don't agree with the fact that they support women more. I don't agree because of men like you. You're a really good man. You're a really good father, and you know what I mean. So I don't agree with that part, but I'm just saying there's definitely more deadbeat dads than there is deadbeat moms. So that's why they favor women more. But as
Whoa,
far
what just
as
happened?
just click back right here. We're still live, I think.
So we still out.
Make it bigger right here.
We need more deadbeat dads than there is.
Something happened.
Right
So
here.
that's why they think of, women for.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. It ended. Start again. All right, relax, bro. Something
They
just
take
happened.
everything. It's just
How do we? So start a new one. All right, so we have to go live again. I don't know what just happened. That was the
We're
first
gonna
time.
wait till they start watching.
So we're definitely.
Right.
If anybody pops on, all right. So this was saved.
What are you touching?
I didn't touch anything until the last one. Did you not see it?
Yeah, I seen you do that with prior to.
Prior to, so when it went there, it was not either one of us touching it.
Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. I'm not blaming you. You was over here click clacking.
Okay.
I'm not blaming you. I asked you,
And I
what did
answered
you
you.
touch?
And I answered you.
Okay. So we're here. We're back. We're on 4 views. Tune in. Tune in. Look, my stalking ass went right to YouTube.
I already like it. I mean, I'm just saying that.
What
All
were you
right,
trying to
when a
get to
few
the
more people,
comments,
no,
or-
that happened after the clicking. Like even I know what I'm doing. What I'm saying is it just randomly did that.
You don't.
So what are you asking me?
Why do you keep doing that?
Doing what?
What you're doing right now?
Because sometimes something will pop up and cause it to do this because the live is in a different feed. So if you want me to get technical with you, I can explain it to you. Would you like me to do that?
No, I would like for you to stop doing that.
So when that stuff pops up, you click it out so I can access this.
What you mean click it out? Like
I'll
this,
show you.
why is
I'll
two
show
of them
you.
open?
I'll show you. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
It's too open because once you go live, it has to keep the connection. So it won't go live on your actual Facebook page because that has to stay open. It goes to a brand new window.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't understand why, which I'm trying to figure out. When things pop up and you'll see people's name and all this weird stuff here, I can't access that until I click out of that and click back in. That's what I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
explain to you. You got it?
Yes,
We
I
can
got
continue now. So back to the marriage. This is we do
Okay,
this all the time.
we missed a question.
Okay, question. Oh, I'm sorry. Carrie, you asked the question. Give me one
Just ask it
second.
again. I guess we were just
Can you
thinking-
please ask the question again?
What was I saying about marriage? Oh yeah. So like as far as like people jumping into it and getting directly and straight into marriage, I feel like that's something that they should thoroughly discuss. Like get into depth about that. Like
Yeah. I
speak
think-
about the good, the bad, speak about everything overall. Speak about money, finances.
the 4 biggest things I told you.
Yeah.
In-laws, finances, children, and religion if that plays a major aspect into your
In
life.
your relationship.
But I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest things people never ask is, as me, I'm going to ask you to you, yo, what do you want from a husband? I've never heard a woman ask a man, what would you like as a wife? Y'all just assume y'all gonna give it to us, right? And never ask that person their ideologies in terms of a wife. So I know before I actually ready to ask you to you that, what is it that you want to expect from a husband? Not me, from a
We
husband.
probably as women don't be asking that because y'all probably be
Assuming.
we're assuming. Yes, this is
Wrong.
me assuming.
Yeah. No.
We probably don't ask that because we don't want y'all talking about some shit that we can't provide. We don't want y'all talking about some shit that
And-
we can't give y'all.
And
Now,
that-
as
that's
far as
wrong.
me and
I
you,
think that's wrong.
but as far as me and you go, I would ask you that because we've been in a relationship long enough for you to know and understand the things that I can do and what I am capable of doing, and vice versa.
Yeah, but
You know
I
what I
still
mean?
think that's something that should be discussed because
I
whether
agree.
I feel or think that now,
I agree.
that's going to play a major aspect. One of the biggest things in terms of marriage is communication, and when that communication isn't
Exactly.
there, disappointment can lead to other things, and that can lead to other things.
I agree. Well, when we get off this live, I need to know what would you could answer it now.
Oh, what?
What would you want?
The first thing I would
From
want
a
is
wife.
first thing I would want is a woman that takes care of her children first and foremost, and understands how to be a woman. And that's big, 'cause- and that's like me saying how to be a man. No, some people know how to behave like a man, but don't want to take on the responsibilities as a man. So with me, I want a woman that's gonna always cater to the children and themselves as a parent or mother or woman first, and then focus on the needs and aspects of our relationship and then me. Because to me, it's like the family should be our foundation. So before anything, that's one of the big things for me. But that's why I've always took a liking to motherly type women. It's one of the reasons why I fell in love with you. You're a beautiful mother. It's the truth. So
I
that's
got
me.
the mother thing in the bag, honey. I have the mother thing in the damn bag. Okay.
And what is it that you would? Oh, so I'm sorry. This is a question. Somebody figuring out your sexual levels and peak before too much is too much out of fear or being too skillful.
Talk about it. You gotta talk about it. You have to talk about that. You have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. You wanna re-ask the question or replay the question?
All right. So anytime that somebody asks a question, I'm gonna pin it in the comments to let you know, guys know that's what we're discussing. Figuring out your sexual levels and peak before too much is too much out of fear of being too skillful.
That's a good question. Again, like I said, communication is key. Some people like to hump like rabbits. Some people don't like to hump like rabbits. Some people like to hump like rabbits at a certain point in time of their relationship, depending on what they're doing. And then some people, at a point in time of their relationship, decide that they don't want to hump like rabbits anymore. So, as far as that, I feel like you got to talk about it. I feel like, discussing what is too much sex. I feel like discussing what is too much, but see, that goes into our sex topic. So I don't want to get into depth with that. I would love to answer you on here pertaining to that, but today is marriage and today is in-laws.
Well, I mean, you can touch it because marriage plays a sex plays a crucial part in marriage.
In marriage, absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. But what I can answer from that is talk about it, discuss it, discuss what is too much, what is too less, what's fun, what's not fun, what's good, what's not good. Discuss it, talk about it, communicate. Further into that, we're gonna touch that on sex. Being that I had those two as the poll ratings, sex is gonna be the next topic for next Sunday. So, Takira, I hope I answered that to an extent for you, but that's something that I don't want to get into currently because we have more into that. Let me you answer.
Alright, so somebody made a great comment that I really wanted to speak on, Amel. Modern day marriage, transactional. I love you because you give me something. In the old days, people married people who made each other better, weak or not. And I think those days are long gone. In those type of marriages in the old days, the man ruled everything, the woman was down here. Our times has changed completely. That's why my views and aspects of marriage are completely different from what we were taught as children. Yeah. You were taught your man, as a man, you have to marry your child's mother, you take care of her, you do this, you do that. The woman stays home, does it. It's not like that anymore, man. It's 2018, about to be 2019. Technology has changed everything. Women make just as much money as men. So how am I going to be the lead provider and be able to tell this woman what to do when she's in an aspect of her life where she's equally on par with me? That's where the things come into play. And then so many women are single moms and already have the mentality of being both parents. To try to come into a marriage and find that balance is going to be so difficult. Mm-hmm. So that the modern day marriage is very tricky. So it wasn't really a question, someone just made a statement. Modern day marriage is transactional. I love you because you give me something. In the old days, people married people who made each other better, weak or not. I think now more than anything,
I feel like
you
in
can't
the old
be weak.
days, but in the old days, people married people just because they felt like that was what they were supposed to do. Like back in the day, a lot of people got married because they were young and that was their boyfriend at the time. So you need to marry that person. If you plan on having kids with that person, you have to get married first, and then you can have children. So I feel like it's not like that anymore. Like people are not doing things like that. It's not like that anymore. Like.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
But as far as now, I do see a lot of people getting married because they feel like marriage is what it's supposed to be. But we have a question over here, and it says, is that different from a boyfriend stage as far as what you want from a husband?
It definitely should be. There should definitely be a difference from what you want from a boyfriend and a husband. A boyfriend is somebody who you will be dealing with for a set amount of time. You don't know what that could be. In terms of a husband, that's somebody you're going to give your entire future to. I don't think people really
I agree.
listen
That's
to
why
that.
I feel like there's stages. That's why I
Yeah.
feel like there's like a sex buddy, and then there's like a boyfriend, and then there's fiance, and then there's husband.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why there's a such thing as a fiance.
Speaking of fiance, somebody has a question in terms of that. Since you guys are engaged, do you feel it's no rush to finalize?
I felt honestly I felt like that before we got engaged. I feel like to me, getting engaged is seeing what's to come. Getting engaged is
Elaborate for me.
getting engaged is more like, all right, so what we were doing as boyfriend and girlfriend, things are going to change. There should be, to me, there should be more communicating. There should be more discussions on what's going on next. What's going to happen in our future, because getting engaged is a step before marriage. So what's going on now? So as like you said, that question that you asked, to me, those are questions that you should be asking once you're engaged. Asking that to a boyfriend or asking that to a girlfriend, to me, is gonna be like, all right, well, where you going with this? You didn't even propose, or we not even
Okay.
engaged. You
Okay,
understand
I
what
get
I'm
that.
saying?
I get
So
that. All right.
I feel like
All right.
I feel like, you know, getting engaged, it to me is just solidifying what's to be, or what's to come, or what's coming after that. Like, it's solidifying, okay, so now that we're engaged, this is what we're gonna be doing. This is, a lot of people as boyfriend and girlfriend, if they don't have plans or goals to be with each other long haul, they're not gonna discuss certain shit. They're not gonna speak on certain things. They're not gonna talk about certain things. It's gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. This is what's going on. This is what we're having fun. You're my boyfriend. I'm your girl. You're my boyfriend. Sorry. You're my girlfriend. You know, things of that sort. It's not gonna be anything major. Getting engaged to me is a little more of a step. You know, that's why I feel like it's levels. I feel like there's boyfriend and girlfriend, there's fiance, and then there's marriage. You know, there's husband and wife. So I do feel like it should definitely be more of discussion pertaining to what's going to be going on when we get married. Like, is things gonna change? Like, are we still gonna be the same? Are we still gonna love the same? Are we still going to, you know, co-parent the same and help out each other as parents together as a team? Like, what to me, that is what's gonna be more. What's gonna happen after?
And like a big thing in marriage, it depends on how you view marriage. Like, well, to me, I've only seen one successful marriage my entire life. So
Yeah.
if I see more prominence in being single, or just us being in a relationship and making it work, why would I jump into marriage? When do you guys see that work? That's a question I really have for a lot. When do people see a well conducted marriage? Now, I understand marriages are gonna take time. There's ups and downs, but every every marriage I've seen has been completely dysfunctional. So why would I want to jump into that?
I agree.
That's why I take my time with that marriage stuff. And like, I feel like you don't know somebody until you go through ups and downs in terms of money and power. You really see people's true colors when they're surrounded by money, power, and women, or men, the opposite sex. And so, like, before I'm jumping into marriage, it might take years to see her to conduct that.
Is there a timetable for the levels? I don't feel like there's a timetable.
There's no
for
timetable
the
for
levels.
life
Yeah.
or love.
I feel like you have to know what you want. Like, you have to know what you want in a person. You have to know what you want in life. To me, let me know and love and appreciate myself first.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
Like, Shatia is not the woman she is right now overnight. You know how long it took her to be this person? You know how long it took me to get my shit together to a level where I feel like, yo, all right, I can be a husband. I'm ready to provide and take care in every aspect of the way. I didn't feel like I did that until maybe a year or two ago, to be honest with you. So how can I consider marriage when I didn't even look at myself in a respectable manner in terms of being a husband? Nah, it takes time. You can't rush things like that.
I definitely don't feel like there's a timetable on the different levels and stages as to, you know.
So somebody said something that really popped out to me in terms of that should be more of a reason for you to change the statistics since you've never seen a successful one. So
I agree. This is
I
why
agree.
we're not jumping into getting married.
Exactly.
That's exactly why
That's
we are
exactly
not
why we're
jumping
taking
into
our
getting
time
married.
because I don't want to get married and get a divorce. So if I've never seen a working marriage,
Exactly.
how will I know how to behave? I'm gonna take my time until I feel I'm there mentally, financially, and
Didi,
emotionally.
your mom and your dad to me is a working marriage. They've been together for as long as I can remember and married for as long as I can remember. So
See, but
yeah.
I've never seen that. Like Tia sees that. I have an uncle that's been with his wife for over 20 years. They work, but that dynamics of their relationship,
My
the
brother
man controls
and
everything.
my brother's grandmother and grandfather as well. They're still together over mad years. So
Yeah, but also too, like taking account into that, the grandfather made a mistake in that marriage. That
yeah,
woman
but I mean,
was,
those things
was
are
great.
going to happen. We're talking about as far as getting divorced.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and-
saying. But listen,
you know what I mean?
this is what I'm trying to get to the point now. That woman made a conscious decision to stay with that man and work with him and do that.
Right.
Not every woman is going to do that.
No, that's true.
That's what I'm
true.
saying. Like, yo,
Yeah.
you have to understand. Like, if you take into a marriage, you have to take somebody who's good and they bad. I know Shatia
And
is
my
good
thing
and bad.
is respect, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that's married and their husbands are fucking this bitch, that bitch, and that bitch, and everybody knows. And the same thing on the other way. There's a lot of people that is married and that woman is fucking that nigga, and that nigga, and everybody knows. Like, where's the respect level? Like, I get that niggas are gonna fuck up. I get that women are gonna fuck up. I get that, mistakes are gonna happen. But there's a level of respect with certain things in certain situations. Marriage, I feel like everybody needs to, the two that's going to be married need to thoroughly understand the respect level. Like, a lot of people don't thoroughly understand and respect the respect level. And to me, that's where the failure happens. That's where to me you failed. Getting a divorce or not. If you could be married and everything, never had a divorce, but you out here and everybody knows that y'all both just cheating on each other, to me that's not a successful marriage. To me that is not making it work. To me that is not getting it right. We have a question?
No, somebody made a comment that I completely agree with. So most marriages fail for financial reasons, like I've always been saying.
That's true.
I think that's the biggest hurdle of marriage, of course, because finances run this world.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine trying to be your husband being broke or being a bum nigga.
Yeah,
No.
that wouldn't work.
What I look like trying to tell you, you're my wife. You're not you're my
work.
wife. You're a reflection of me. I'm going to take care and do this because you're my wife. And I can't even take care of myself.
I feel like a lot of men nowadays feel like a woman is being a gold digger when they're automatically stepping into a situation
Expecting?
Yeah,
but I think that's just a issue with women now. Like
Yeah.
even if I was a chick, I'm not expecting nothing from a man. I would be happy if that person was to do. I would come into an understanding. But even now, I
To
don't
me, that's how I am. That's how I
Yeah.
am. I'm not walking into a situation expecting you to do X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of women that knows exactly what they want and they're expecting instead of trying to learn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even trying to learn the person that they're being with. They're expecting. This is what I expect from you. This is what I need, and this is what we're doing, and this is what we're going to do. And it's like, to me, that you're just clearly pushing that dude away, and you don't care because you're going to expect that from somebody else, anyway.
Mhm.
So, I feel like a lot of men feel like women are automatically. To me, is nothing wrong with knowing what you want. To me, is nothing wrong with expectations at all. Because I've had expectations as well from Paul, but the thing is communication. Discussing these things. When you first enter a situation, you listen. This is what I expect. This is what
Well, I mean, in terms of me, if you had expectations over time, I've had to shoot through those. I'm extremely confident in myself. I know I've grown. I'm not saying I did everything correctly, but I know I am extremely confident that I broke all those barriers in terms of expectation because I'm still continuing to do better.
But we discussed it.
Yeah, we did.
You had expectations as well.
I had expectations as well, but I'm a difficult person. My
did
expectations
things.
are
I
unrealistic.
also did things. See, that's what you think because I also did things to you and for you that you never expected a woman to do.
That is true, but I've shown you much appreciation for those things.
Yeah, we're not talking about the appreciation part.
I didn't
We're
say.
just talking about-
I didn't. I'm just simply telling you for those things that I weren't aware of. I've showed you 4 times 4 how much I appreciated it
Yeah.
because it's very rare that happens to me. But
Yeah.
somebody made a great comment. Marriage is a business in aspect. Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to talk about.
I agree.
So let's just say like me and Shatia get married, right? Let's say I have a student loan I haven't paid off. My credit isn't up to par. The second I marry her, she takes all the debt I have.
I know somebody that got married, and prior to them getting married, she knew her husband was in debt with child support. So he didn't have a bank account. He didn't have.
So
he didn't have nothing.
so what happens when that occurs?
As soon as they got married,
Whoever's
her
getting
account.
the majority of the income is going to be penalized for that. So until you got
They
your
hit
stuff
her
together,
account. Y'all didn't hear me.
exactly.
They hit her account for his kids. We not doing
The
that.
point I'm trying to make
We
is
are not doing that.
this is one of the reasons why I say take
That's
your
not
time
going to
with a
work.
marriage. Anything I messed up or did when I was younger, because we were all young at one time, we all made mistakes. That is going to relate over into your marriage. I want to come into the marriage given equal opportunity. I don't want to be a burden because of my past transgression. That's why I say marriage takes time.
Just press that. I don't want you clicking on it.
See, you're not telling me how to touch a mat. Be quiet.
I'm
You're not
telling
me how to
you
touch a
that
mat.
I do not want you
And I'm
clicking
gonna keep
anymore.
doing this
Just
the
do
way I've been
this.
doing it.
But we cut off again
We're
and
not
then
gonna
gotta
cut
start
off
over
again. That's fine, and I can set it up. We don't tell me how to
No,
work a
we're
mat.
not gonna just keep
This
setting
is
up,
the
waiting for
same
viewers
person.
and
This
waiting
happened
for.
one time, and I don't know why. I'm gonna figure it out. This is the same person that was touching the screen of a Mac, thinking it's an iPad. Don't tell me how to work a Mac. Continue,
Why you putting my business?
because you're gonna tell me what I'm doing. No.
Anyways, guys, do you guys have any questions for us?
Any questions in terms
Somebody
of
said
marriage?
expectation leads to disappointment. I disagree.
I agree.
I disagree. I disagree because you have to be realistic with yourself and the person you're dealing with. That all comes with communication and knowing who you're dealing with.
See, but once you do that, communication is no longer an expectation. It's a goal. So expectation in terms of you not telling your spouse, that is going to lead to nothing but disappointment. But once you tell your expectation to your spouse, it's no longer an expectation. It's a goal, whether somebody's going to reach that goal or not. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you told me that stuff, that's not an expectation anymore. That's not something you expect. That's something you set forth as a standard.
Yeah, but so if I had expectations, I can't discuss with you my expectations.
That's what you're supposed to.
Anymore?
Exactly. If you don't discuss your expectations, they're just expectations can lead to disappointment. The way to avoid disappointment, don't allow those expectations to last. Turn them into goals with communication.
Okay, I agree with that. Oh, please.
I know you like the way I worded that, didn't you?
Yeah, that was nice.
You can't have expectations.
What?
You can't have expectations. I say that again. When you talk about your expectation, that turns into a goal. Expectations are tricky, man, because if you don't disclose that information, mentally that can cause you so much disappointment. It can really change the aspect of
So
the
then, well, again, yeah. I mean, if once you discuss it, and then you guys are putting forth for it to be a goal, then that's completely different.
Exactly.
Because just having, I'm thinking about it now, just having expectations, the expectations I had, I spoke to you about. So I was not about to just have expectations and it was just gonna be sitting and lingering and I'm just waiting around
That's
to get
different.
it done.
Some people, you know what's crazy to say that? I used to have the mentality like, I'm not gonna say what I want. I'm not gonna say what I like. I want that person to figure it out. Now I can see why that never works in my favor.
Yeah, I need communication. I need us to talk. I need you to tell me what you need from me, what you want from me, and we gonna work and see if that's what I can do.
I mean, I don't feel I'm difficult. No, let me not say that.
Who's not? You about to say you're not difficult?
I just said let me not say that. Well, Don't focus on what I'm about to say. Focus on what I say. But most of all, focus on what I do. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
There we go. The hate is real.
The
hate is real.
Guys, do we have any more questions? That's true. And work with them over time. Work with the person. That's why I don't feel like there's a timetable on the levels. There's, boyfriend and girlfriend, then there's fiancés, and then there's marriage. I don't think there's no us being fiancés with each other.
Engaged?
Yeah, being engaged.
It varies and depends, man. I feel like when that marriage thing is ready, it's going to come. Period.
Yeah.
Like when it's ready, like when it's genuinely ready, not.
Don't get me wrong. We've had the thing with me and him. We've had discussions. Like we've spoke about it. All right. Like, you know, so where we getting married at? Like, how I'm gonna look? What you gonna do? How we doing this? Like, we spoke about it. We know what we want.
And that's us being adults. That's the
Yeah.
joy part of marriage. That's not the
Mhm.
part we'll be dealing with every day consistently throughout the years. So that's what a lot of people get.
And to me,
Confused.
weddings are fucking expensive.
I'm not with the spending a bunch of money
I don't
on
wanna
get
eat
dressed.
I don't want to elope. I don't want that. I want the whole shebang. So that's going to be expensive. Okay?
You know, like with
And being that you about to, come up in life.
yeah, but you know, like they got virtual reality now. If anybody's familiar with augmented reality, where like we don't even have to pay for those things. We can put you in a green room.
No.
Alright, whatever. I just don't see the point in
No.
spending all this money on a dress you're only going to wear one time. Like that just mind boggles me. So we have to go into debt to pay for this wedding to be happy with each other.
I think you can rent dresses though. Like
Oh, you
rent
can?
suits. I think so. I don't know. I ain't never been married before.
Me neither. I mean, you say you know a marriage that work.
We gon'
Where do
figure
you get
this
this
shit out.
information? I'm gonna
We
check
gon' figure this
Google.
shit out. But I want the big extravaganza, and I do feel like we are going to pay X amount of dollars
One
for a dress
second.
that I'm gonna wear one time.
That is true. We got a freak nasty in the comments. You might as well talk about sex since all of this go together. Freak nasty.
Wait, how do you find your voice?
Your voice in what? Within the aspect of relationship?
Yeah, elaborate a little
Being
bit.
yourself. If so, I'm trying to understand that. How do you find your voice in the relationship or in terms of marriage? Be yourself. If you don't have a voice from the get-go, well, that's not established up front. It's going to be very difficult to articulate that.
Compromising is key. I did see that just now. Compromising is key. When somebody replied and said next Sunday. Wait, what we could say.
Matt, hold on. Somebody wrote marriage doesn't make a difference. I totally disagree.
I think
Marriage does.
make
Listen
a
to me.
difference.
If somebody wants to be successful, you're gonna have to have numerous sources of income, right? So let's just say I'm trying to get into real estate right now. If my real estate thing pops off, and I was to be married, and something goes wrong, any amount of finances I made from that, or any purchases I made from that, technically would have to go to my wife. So marriage comes into play when you're trying to become a business. And I don't know about you guys. I don't want to just work the rest of my life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll get with that. But marriage does play a big portion of it. It depends on what you
and
want.
again, I also feel like the same way you would have, respect in your relationship and everything overall. Once you get married, to me, the respect level should adjust just a little bit.
Not a little bit, a lot. What you mean?
Yeah, like,
listen, if you're my wife.
No, I'm just saying a little bit because the type of respect we have for each other.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
If you're my wife, you're a reflection. You're my queen. You're not
Yeah.
my girlfriend. I'm
And
not gonna
I'm
be
like,
out here letting
girlfriend.
my wife look stupid. And if you my wife and you got me as a husband looking dumb, infuriating.
Yeah, no, I agree. So,
That's
but
why I
I'm
said
talking
I'm-
about. I guess I'm speaking on us. Like,
Oh, okay.
the respect level should adjust
Yes.
a tad. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, somebody said you can open an LLC. Yes, that is true, but
We're
depending on
working
how
on
you
it.
file your taxes and how you're trying to find loopholes in terms of 1031s with real estate and your taxes, many things come into play. Like I can use my wife as filing as a business partner to take off certain taxes that I won't have to pay interest on. That's why I say it varies and depends on the aspect of your relationship. If you're in a business, marriage plays a crucial role, period.
yeah, it does.
Period.
It does.
And business is where the money and the success is. So that's where I'm trying to go into. Okay.
Oh, find your voice within your relationship.
Again, when you're trying to find your voice in the relationship, that has to be you as a person.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with yourself yet,
Yeah.
how can you articulate that to your spouse?
I feel like
That's an
once
in
you,
thing first.
yeah, once you learn, appreciate yourself, a voice is nothing.
Yeah.
A voice is just going to
Yep.
come
Yep.
from you. Just it's gonna naturally come. So
Because
no matter
you know what you want. You know
like
what
I
you're
feel like
tolerating.
people feel like they don't have a voice because of the things that they've been through prior to, or the things that they've been through in the past, and it has an effect on their current life. But once you are good with you, and once you know, love, appreciate, and respect yourself, a voice is gonna be nothing. A voice is just going to come. That's just how I feel.
Alright, but in terms of that comment about the sex, can we just touch one aspect of that? Is that alright?
That's not being fair. You're not playing by the rules, baby.
That's why I asked you. I didn't assume. So if you were to say no,
because
I
we
can
gotta
understand.
get them to tune in next
That's
Sunday.
a valid reason why I won't touch sex. You see the compromise? I asked you. I didn't assume.
Alright, she wanna kiss. She wanna kiss.
That wasn't it.
That wasn't. Yo, you know what I hate? Yo, towards
We're
the
not
end.
talking
No,
about
listen.
sex.
This is something I
We
think we
are
should
not
go with.
doing
Listen to
that.
me. This is something I think we should go with. Towards the end of the video, since we discussed a lot, we've been on for about like an hour. I'm gonna discuss the things I hate in relationships. Don't ask me for something, and I do it, and you tell me it's not the way you wanted me to do it. Don't.
Okay, let me just. Can I just show them? Because you're talking about a kiss.
Okay.
Give me a kiss. You just gave me a kiss. This is what.
That's the way I kiss.
This is what you do when I say give me a kiss. You go like this. Wait.
Okay,
calm
I'm
down.
coming to you.
Wait. No. This is you. That you're me and
Okay.
I'm you. You go.
Oh, hold on, Stinky.
I don't do all that. But just wait. You go.
What is wrong with that?
That's not a kiss. You're putting your lips on mine.
See,
That's
yeah,
not a kiss.
that's-
This is a
that's-
kiss. Give me a kiss.
That's
You
not a
see
kiss.
how you
That's
pucker
not a
your
kiss
lip
to
little
me.
bit, but you
That's
see
not.
how-
But
But
that's
do
not a
you
kiss to
see
me.
how you just pushed your
This is
lip
a
out
kiss.
of it? Yeah,
If
all
I
right,
kiss you
that's
like
being
that, that's a
extra.
kiss. So that's extra. This is no
No, no,
reason.
no. I'm
There's
not saying
reason.
no. I'm not saying that's extra. I'm just saying that was a kiss. What I'm saying to you is just putting your lips on mine is putting your lips on mine. When I ask you for a kiss, how you hit the pucker up a little bit, pucker up and give me a kiss. You get what I'm saying?
Am I not kissing you?
You're putting your lips
Am
on
I?
mine.
Is that so? Let's define a kiss, right? I got all your stuff on me.
My lips was on your lips.
So excuse me 1 second. So let me. What's a kiss? When two lips intertwine to meet, correct?
Yes.
So the manner in which I do that is irrelevant.
You gotta be. You know what?
Yo, listen, you don't like my wording,
This
right?
motherfucker here.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know what I
So I'm
mean.
going to ask you, what are some of the things you hate or that you can't stand in a relationship? This is something y'all need to discuss in terms of a marriage. Like if we're gonna play this right.
When you do what you just did just now.
And what is that?
And tell me that it shouldn't matter the way you kiss me if and got into depth about the definition of a kiss.
Well,
Like,
why do you
come
hate
on.
that? Tell me why you hate that.
Cause you know what the fuck I mean. You know what I mean. Don't put your lips on mine. I want a kiss like pucker up a little bit, like I just said. You don't do it all the time, but you do it when I'm being annoying and I'm like, let me kiss me. And then that's when you do that.
My point right there. So you know you're being annoying?
Yes.
So why be annoying?
But that's a topic
So
for
why be
another day.
annoying?
I'm
Like if
always
you know I'm
annoying
going to
you.
kiss like that, then don't be
I'm always
annoying.
annoying to you.
Then don't
That's
ask for
what
a
I
kiss
do.
when you being annoying.
But I be wanting to kiss you.
Oh my god. Okay, and somebody made a great point. If you're married for 15 years, then the love dies. Do you stay together because you married till death? Do you apart but not happy? That's something. Listen, this is why I say marriage is real. I don't care if you don't love me. You're my wife. Love me again.
No,
Fall in love again.
Seek marriage counseling. You know, do something.
Fall in love again.
Yeah, fall in love again, but talk about that.
Fuck you think
Let-
you going?
no.
Just tell me what you think.
Wait,
If you're my
wait.
wife, or you're not
Wait.
happy, all right.
Wait,
Go.
let me speak on that. Because
Go
now
in the book.
y'all
You want a
done
puppy?
started.
Cause you want a puppy?
Listen to me. The love dies. You talk about the fact that the love died. Now, what can we do to fix it? What were the things that you were doing prior to get me to fall in love? You know what I mean?
For
And
better
vice
or for
versa.
worse is a vow. And
Right.
I'll stick to that to heart.
Exactly. So let's
Exactly.
fix it. They have marriage counseling. They have friends and family. You can speak on those things. You can, you seek help to fix it. Do what you need to do to fix it. You know what I
And
mean?
it's not gonna be easy. Like your love ain't easy, man. Falling in love
It's
is
not.
different. But you're not leaving. If we married, we're married. Are you not happy?
That's not kissing ball. Exactly.
That's not. Who said that? Somebody said that's not kissing. Listen to me. Go to the dictionary. Use your iPhone. Ask Siri to define a kiss. When two lips lock or intertwine to meet.
Hey Siri.
Tell me what's a kiss.
You can't talk while I'm asking. Hey Siri.
Where's my phone?
Can you define a kiss?
As a verb, it means touch with the lips is a sign of love.
Touch with the lips is a sign of love.
Sexual desire.
Reverence. If my lips
Or
touch yours,
greeting. All right, but the way you
So
did
just-
all that when you sucked the
okay.
bottom of my lip a little bit, that's considered a kiss as well. So
so as long as our
kissing
lips
is abroad. It's abroad.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Did we answer your question about if the love dies? Because we kind of flip flopped.
Well, somebody also wrote, but some people fall out of love and can't see themselves falling in love with the person again. Then that's what.
See, to
That's
me, that's why there's also something called a divorce. Again, like how there's levels. There's a boyfriend and girlfriend. There's fiance, and then there's marriage. Like if it gets to a point where there's no falling back in love again, or it's just it and that's done, and we can't, and it's not happening no more, then to me, then get a divorce because y'all wasting each other's time.
No, then you're gonna waste.
wasting
No, that's
time.
what. No, you're not wasting time. Get it.
We're
the
not
fuck
gonna
right.
be roommates. We're not gonna be married and
Then
we're roommates.
get it right.
Okay, but what if you cannot get it right?
That's impossible.
How is it impossible?
If y'all had the type of foundation to even get married, that's why I say time and foundation
You're
is
thinking
key.
about us.
Then I'm only concerned with us. We're not getting a divorce. So
We're
if
not
you're
getting a
unhappy,
divorce.
go get another. You want another baby?
We were unhappy before. And we
Okay,
fixed it.
all right.
So you
So
cannot.
I'm
You're
saying.
talking about us.
And I'm simply telling somebody how I believe if in marriage you guys had that foundation, there should never be a point where you can't put forth the effort to try to get it right until it's right.
Somebody said falling in love again is hard because people change and grow. That's
Then you-
exactly why it's not hard. Because let me
Exactly.
explain something to you. It's not hard because once you grow from jump, you should have been growing together. But the fact that you guys grew separately, it's okay. Discuss those things, speak about those things, and then start to begin to grow together.
And also, if love is just not the basis of y'all marriage, y'all have a great relationship in terms of communication, you're great parents, and we fall out of love, we can stick and go back to the things that made us work.
Yeah.
We can stick, all right, we good with the kids, let's build the kids into our marriage again until we build that flame again. Our
Yeah.
finances are great, let's go on business ventures to do that.
Somebody said it depends on the pain. I agree with that to an
Yo,
extent.
suck it up.
because,
No, stop right there. It's 2018. Suck it up.
No, ain't no suck it up.
Suck
You
it up.
gotta cut that motherfucker or something. Ain't no suck it up. You gotta do something to get it to stop. You gotta stop the pain.
Go to your
Seek
mother's house,
marriage
make
counseling.
him one, yeah, but
See,
cut
marriage
him-
counseling, like discuss the pain, discuss the hurt, talk to each other about the hurt, talk to each other about the pain, but ain't no just suck it up. Like y'all men could just suck it the fuck up. Like us as women, we can't suck it the fuck up. Like there's no just sucking it up. Like you seek help.
That's why I'm saying, yes, sometimes you can't fall back in love. So once again, do we stay together till death do us part? Yes, the fuck you do. And make it right. That is a marriage. You know how many people I know that be like, yo, I was in a marriage and I wasn't happy for some time, or we were doing this, but we worked until we got it
Yeah.
right. That's why you get into a commit with somebody to never ever
That's
give
why
up.
you don't jump into the marriage.
Exactly. Now I'm not going to do that with somebody that's always a fucking cheater, always a fucking liar,
Exactly.
never show growth. No, because we already established that. I'm never gonna give up on my wife.
I feel like so true. I'm reading the comments. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go to your mother's house. Listen, if we're arguing, we're fighting in terms of a marriage, you want to leave, go to your mother's house.
Yeah.
I got an extra room for you, baby. You're not
I
leaving
feel
me if
like
you're my wife.
I feel like a lot of people jump into marriage, so at a point in time of their relationship, they can't handle the hurt, they can't handle the pain, they can't handle the I don't love you no more, or the fixes. They can't handle none of that shit. Me and Bar done been through it all. Okay, so
Well, not
if we
all.
we still have things because we're still
Right.
growing, so we still
Okay.
have things to come across. But I feel like that's why it's so easy for him to talk about this topic. It's so easy for him to talk about fix it, get it right, make it work, because we did it.
Also, somebody just made a great point. What if you love off memories and can't get over what happened in the marriage? Make new
more
fucking memories. The fuck?
Wait.
If this is a marriage, we got forever to make new memories. Yo, you know how I look at the
Wait.
relationship? Whatever I
Let
did
me get some.
yesterday is irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
If I made Shatia happy yesterday, that's irrelevant. It's what I'm out doing right now. If I bought her $1,000 bag yesterday, that's irrelevant.
Mhm.
It's what am I going to purchase now? That's how you should look at the marriage. Yes, I do understand the aspect of understanding the past, learning from the past, but don't put all your focus on memories and
Yeah.
you're not looking into what
Make
could
new
be.
memories.
Make new memories.
Make new
So
memories.
You're just gonna eat in the,
Have another baby. If y'all don't have any yet.
Some people become
Buy a
comfortable
house.
and start disrespecting. That is true. How do you check that disrespect? How do you go about dealing with that
You need
disrespect?
to fix that. Nobody should never be that comfortable to where they disrespecting you.
Exactly.
You not respecting yourself. When you don't respect yourself, the people gonna do what the fuck they want to do to you.
That is true.
You have to respect yourself. Nobody is not gonna just be disrespecting you unless you're allowing it. Like, you have to respect yourself. Once you respect yourself, nobody shouldn't just be walking around here just disrespecting you. Period.
Okay, so somebody wrote every day is a memory, which is true. So if you try to, if you sincerely want to make your marriage work, you will never give up.
Mhm.
Period. And I said you. If that person in the marriage gave up, then there was nothing you could do. That's why I say as long as you don't stop trying, if both parties have that mentality,
Yeah.
it's going to work.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm listen, with marriage, I'm very big on till death do us part. When
Me
I'm
too.
married, I don't want to experience any other person. That's why I say don't jump into marriage.
Yeah.
Take your time. You're giving your entire life to another human being. A human being will make mistakes,
Yep.
will falter at times. You have to
Right,
be willing
perfect.
to deal with that.
Yeah.
You fucking crazy.
Take your time.
Dead
I agree.
marriage.
Definitely take your
Yo,
time.
you wanna know what my biggest fears was? All I ever heard from men, yeah man, my wife don't have sex with me no more.
What are you doing?
Not even that. No.
Make it right.
No, but I can understand as we get older, sex isn't a great aspect. But I'm the type of person that I love to have sex with my woman. I wish we would get married and that were to decline. No. I'm
What
not
you
even
gonna do
playing
if that
that.
happens?
That's not gonna happen. Because I'm going to make it to where you're going to want to have sex with me. I'm going to keep myself physically fit. I'm going to be attractive mentally, emotionally, physically.
That's why I gotta make sure I'm on point too, because you know I'm on baby number 2, and I couldn't just let myself go
First of
because
all,
I need him to want me.
You
all the
didn't. You
time.
don't even look like
Okay.
it. But yo, somebody just joined this chat, and it was a very good friend of mine that was just recently married a few years ago. He made a very good point. In my opinion, you have to work every day to keep your spouse in love with you and remind them of the reason they said yes. Which is exactly why I
Exactly.
said you have to put forth that effort. The second
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. There are times when you get comfortable in a relationship, but I never second guess another man's hunger for my woman, and that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I recently had to understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
Now,
Me
some
too, as a
people
woman.
are savages. Yo, men and women, they're savages out here.
Women, there's
I
a lot
think
of
like
women
them.
that will see a ring on a nigga finger,
And want
and that's like
Or
the
they'll see
green
you
light.
with the children, like, yo,
And
I
that's like the
him.
green light.
Yeah.
So that's why I gotta make sure, you know, like this is me. I'm on point. I'm doing what I have to do as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely a lot of women out here that waits for that. There's a lot of women out here that wait for men to get married to fuck with a married man
And
because they
there's-
feel like they don't want that stability.
And there's
They don't
also
want that.
a lot of men that don't care or respect a marriage. And I think
Exactly,
all
and
women
it's-
know
it's
the
a
majority of
respect
the
level.
time men are always going to approach your woman. Yeah, I'm going to try to decrease the reasons for my woman to seek that from someone else.
Yeah.
So like, yo, just stay. But in terms of a marriage, always push to be the best you, so you can give that to somebody else.
I feel like that in general too, like in a relationship period, like boyfriend and girlfriend, with being engaged too. Like, do what you need to do to keep your man intertwined with you. Like, do what you need to do to still. People lack going on dates because they've been together for mad long. Like, it's movies coming out all the time. Like, drop them kids to school and go to the movies. That's what we do.
Somebody asked a great question. What if you're married and your husband was always a cheater? And you thought he would change because he had moments of being faithful. Do you feel that woman should stick it out instead? I can answer this fully. Why would you marry a cheater?
Yeah. Period. I know somebody who married a cheater.
And I'm
Somebody
not
real
saying
close to
people
me.
can't change, but I'm not going to give that person the opportunity. You know what? It's kind of crazy. If somebody always cheated, why would you marry them? Yeah, man. I don't think you should have married that person.
Exactly. I agree.
Now,
I agree.
Now, listen, there may be some very rare instances where people actually change, but if you already know that person is a cheater, you cannot be shocked and find a good reason. Oh my God, this is why I have to leave.
My
You
thing
need to
with
understand
that is always a cheater in terms of what are you doing to have that person cheating, which cheating is not okay. But did you cheat? And then now that person want to cheat? Or, you know, did it just happen? Or is that person just always a cheater? So, like, always a cheater, don't marry that person. At all. Situations, hiccups in the relationship prior to which cause like for instance, like we spoke about before, in relationships, shutdowns, not speaking, not communicating, just feeling like you don't exist in a relationship or feeling like you don't matter in a relationship, cheating occasionally because of issues in the relationship is different to me. You may consider marrying that person because all right, now I'm gonna fix this. Now I'm not gonna do this no more to have you out here doing that. Now I'm not gonna be fucking around or making you feel like you don't exist. And now I'm gonna do what I need to do to keep you. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure you stay and you're here for good. So I feel like as far as always cheating, no, you shouldn't have married that person. And if you did marry that person, at that point you might as well stick it out because you married them knowing they was a cheater.
Or just don't be shocked when they cheat. Like that's my like when I constantly hear, oh, somebody cheated on me for like the 8th time. It should just be normal then.
Right? Like why would you marry? I'm not marrying no cheater.
So if I started cheating every single day, you're not gonna marry me.
No.
You know what?
I love you to death, boy, but no.
Now I'm a boy. See? You
Nah.
see now I'm a boy.
I'm just saying. I'm not calling you a boy. Like I'm just saying. Like
You was
no.
just, it wasn't a boy this whole time. I'm just
Mm-mm.
shocked.
That's not gonna work.
I really want
Read
to
the
keep
comments
this
over
going.
there.
Tia, you don't have to tell me how to moderate these comments. I'm doing an excellent job. I respond to everyone. I pin the questions. Please let me
All
do
right.
Because like, yo, don't do that. I got this over here. You're not checking your YouTube ones, boo.
Because
exactly. I got this over here.
All right, what's this?
This is the next. You guys rock. That was just somebody praising us. That's already like. Because you wanted them to see their father in the house. That's why you would stay with somebody. You know what? That's difficult. I can understand why women stay with men because they want their children to experience a father in the home. That is very true. I don't agree with it, but I do understand because I've never seen a male figure in my home consistently.
I disagree.
I can understand why women would want
disagree
that.
as a woman. From a woman's perspective, I disagree with staying and sticking it out with a cheater, a disrespectful person for the child, because there are a lot of amazing stepfathers. A lot of amazing. Like Tamia is not Ball's kid. Everybody knows that. But who the hell could tell? And why am I going to not have this? Because I'm trying to stick it out with an asshole. Because I'm trying to stick it out with a cheater. Because I'm trying to stick it so that my child could grow up and see a mother and a father. My kids do see that. My kids see a mother and a father in the home, and it's me and him. It's not me and a dickhead. It's not me and an asshole. It's not me and a deadbeat.
And then to put into perspective, I would rather my kids see a functioning family aspect, mother and parent, versus seeing negative energy in the house, seeing dysfunction.
Because I'm your mother, I'm your father, and we're together.
Me and my child's mother working, whether we're together or not, I think that's more healthier than seeing a dysfunction.
Yeah, like co-parenting and not being together is to me more successful than being with the person, disrespect, cheating. No, especially if you have a daughter too, your daughter is witnessing that. Like I'm currently reading a book and stuff like that has major impact. Like all that negative shit, the cheating, the disrespect, all of that has major impact on your kids. Especially when you think your kids is not paying attention or they don't know or because they are young. At 2, they remember. At 2, kids are remembering things as adults. You know what I mean? So you don't want to have that.
That's also why I said I can kind of understand from a woman's aspect because let's just say with a man, as a young boy, you want to have a male figure in that home. That's why I say it's very tricky. It's
but you can get another male figure.
That is true.
You don't have to stick it out with their dad because their dad is an asshole. Get you another male figure. Get you a male figure that wants to be.
Just be very cautious, you know, who you bring around your children.
Like I didn't ask to have a deadbeat first baby father. I didn't ask for that. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna subject myself to just deal with that because I need my child to see this and see what's going on. No, I found you. I got you. So now my kid gets to see a mother and a father in their house. Happy.
So somebody made a comment that just really stuck out to me. I don't think anybody ever will feel normal after hearing their partner cheated, even if they used to it. Then you shouldn't be in a relationship. Like if I hear the same thing over and over and over and over again, my reaction to it will just become normal or numb to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with that. Like if you're with somebody that cheats on you all the time and you still feeling away, then why continue to be in a relationship?
Exactly.
It should just be to the point where, all right, now you're playing yourself. Leave and come back when you're ready.
All right, truthfully and honestly, let's just replay this shit. You cheating on me all the time, like all the time. What am I gonna say new that I didn't say to you the last 10 times?
Nothing, because I already did it so many times. So
I'm
what's the
gonna say,
point?
will you stop? No, that's gonna be the same shit. I'm gonna constantly say, like, when is it gonna stop? When are you gonna change? Like, you know what I mean? To me, dudes do to you what you allow them to do. So if they already cheated 10, 11, 12, 13 times, they already feel like you used to it.
Again, this is why I said when you pick your husband, these things shouldn't even become an issue because your husband, whether you have children with prior to or now, understands as a male role in that household. Those are your kids now.
Yeah.
That's why I said take the time
Like
and pick
even
it
said, you
yourself.
want the correct male figure in your household.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
You
your
wouldn't
husband.
want you wouldn't want just because that's the father, a deadbeat, a cheater, a disrespectful person. You wouldn't want that. Like
No.
I wouldn't want that for my family.
And that's why, as a man, I'm going to make sure I'm taking care of every aspect of my wife. And that goes for the men too. Don't just marry her because she has your kids.
Exactly.
It's not intelligent. Like
Exactly.
listen, yo, this is it's 2018. We are too intelligent. There's too much information at hand to be foolish in this modern day era. Too much. It's no reason for you to be stupid.
Kara said
anymore.
that also starts mental illness with the kids because they see more deceit and pain than living and loving. That's
Listen to me. I don't want to go in depth about something, but Shatia's mind frame is very much affected by the things she's seen as a child. That I gotta try to overcome. With I'm not doing all that extra stuff, but I can understand that why being a dysfunctional marriage can play a very negative role in the children. So I'm all for being positive first, whether you guys are together or not. But the person you're going to be with shouldn't be a cheater. Shouldn't be someone that's not taking care of their responsibilities. It should be a husband.
That's why it's levels, boyfriend and girlfriend, a fiance, and then marriage, because you see those things as boyfriend and girlfriend. You know the person you're dealing with as your boyfriend. You know what I mean? You see those things once you get engaged. You know that type of person, who that person is once you get engaged. And then there's, marriage. And that's why I feel like it was a lot of difficult things that I seen overall and difficult things that I witnessed overall as a kid that I guess I was like blocking certain shit out as an adult. And I can honestly say that I appreciate you.
Yeah, you wanna know what's crazy since you
I
wanna get
do.
all touchy? I was raised. I have 7 uncles. They're not much older than me because my father had me at a very young age. So I grew up in a household where I see my uncles getting money, having sex with numerous women, dressing well, living their lives. So I was always trained from a young age to have numerous women, live your life, and do what you want. It took a woman like Shatia for me to change that in every aspect. I'm not gonna sit here and say like I changed because of Shatia. No, she gave me reasons to feel and believe why that's just not something I will continuously want. So I do appreciate you for that too. That's why I said it takes time.
Yeah.
Shatia just didn't come into my life and I'm about to change my whole life with Shatia.
Right.
And vice versa. Absolutely not. It took trials and tribulations, change, growth. It took those things. That's you playing. See if you have any questions. Men need to step into their manhood and handle their duties as a husband, father, son, friend, and positive influence community they live in. Which is why I keep telling the women in the chat room the difference between you dealing with some dude you're playing with and you dealing with a man.
Yeah.
Like I can't like when I speak about how I feel, I'm speaking from a man's perspective. I don't know what it's like anymore to be a little boy running around playing fucking who, playing with your children. I have no knowledge of that anymore because that's not what I am. I take care of my house first. I make sure I'm a role model to my daughter, definitely gonna be to my son, and making sure that my wife feels confident enough for me to.
I read like a comment and somebody said that everybody can't go around like meeting your kids, and I agree. But I'm not gonna have my child around a deadbeat. I'm not gonna have my child because their father, if their father was a deadbeat or disrespectful or cheating all over the place, I'm not gonna have my child around that man either. Period. Like father or not, you're just the father. I'm not gonna have that. So your child don't have to meet everybody you're dealing with. You just would deal with the person you date, you meet your boyfriend, you talk about those things before it gets to a point where that man is meeting your child. Like you discuss those things before that man is meeting your child. That doesn't mean that oh, okay, so I gotta see if this man is for me, so I'm gonna have to meet my kid and see how he is with my kid. No, we're not playing. We're not playing. We're not playing games. You have to know and see and decide who you're willing to be with, who you're willing to deal with, what they're capable of, how they are with you as a mother, and then you will be able to test and see how they are with your kids. And it takes time. Time is everything.
Somebody asks, what if you know they are not ready in a relationship, yet both know that you want each other? Then don't get married.
Take your
You
time.
wanting each other in a relationship are two different
Yeah,
things.
take your time.
Take your
Be in
time.
a relationship. Enjoy the relationship. Enjoy the fun in a relationship. There's no time on how long you could be in a relationship with a person. To me, the time speaks for itself. Like when it's time for you to be engaged, you'll get engaged. When it's time for you to get married, you'll get married. So to me, it takes time. Like time is everything. Like have fun in a relationship. Y'all both want each other, so want each other and be in a relationship, wanting each other.
I think like the thing with like the children in terms of dating, in terms of women and men, is going to be a lot of different views and values because a woman is going to look at it from a woman's perspective versus a man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult. But that's why I say if you're a father and the woman that has your child is your wife, don't give that woman a reason to want to bring another man into the party. And don't bring another man into the party to make that husband feel as if his role as a father isn't good. So like if I'm going to marry or we get married, it's just certain things that we as a team aren't going to touch. But that's why I said you go through the trial tribulation until marriage comes. Like once marriage comes, that playing shit is over with for me.
Yeah,
That's why I say like take your time with the marriage.
exactly.
Somebody wrote, I'm a married woman. Me and my husband is not the best and we definitely go through it. I feel that damn near every nigga gonna fuck up, so since I've already been in this for almost 2 years, why not just stick it out? Because I'm gonna start all over with another man to go through the same thing. I think that's very difficult. I think if somebody makes a mistake and genuinely wants to try to make it
To
work,
fix it. Yeah.
I mean genuinely showing you growth, understands the mistake, and the hardest thing as a person you're gonna have to do, you guys are going to have to talk about the mistake.
Yeah.
Whatever that, whether it was infidelity,
Yep.
whether it was terms of finances, terms of children, whatever the mistake revolved around, you're going to have to be honest in every aspect. And you may not hear things you want to hear, but in order for growth, you guys have to touch that. And that
Yeah.
just goes to show, like, when you stick somebody with marriage, you have to be able to do that. So you got to be very keen on who you
As
choose to
far
give those
as
opportunities.
starting all over, and going through the same shit with a different person or whatever, like starting over, I don't feel like you should think like that. I do feel like you should stick it out, but I don't feel like you should think like that because what if that next person won't do the same
Yo,
way?
somebody
You know what I
asked
mean?
a question I wasn't ready for. Somebody asked, Tia, this is for you. How long did it take for you to be comfortable with Bob being around your daughter? Did you know he was the one before they were introduced?
The thing about that is me and Bob grew up together. So as far as having him around my daughter, it took time. He didn't like come to my house right away. I was pretty much always going to his house. I was pretty much always, I was always around him. Like again, like I said, we grew up together. Like so we already had a friendship before we were in a relationship. I don't know exactly how
It took a
long
minute
it
because
took,
I remember the first
but-
time I was alone with Tamia, I was scared to death. I had to call Shatia at least 5 times.
Yeah,
But the thing with me as a man, I'm not gonna come around your daughter playing. Meaning, I'm not gonna try to spend time with your daughter and deal with your daughter. I don't think this is going somewhere.
to me, before the like you and Tamia thing is more of us together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go out together. We're gonna be around each other together. Like we are going to do things together as a team. Me, you, and my child. So it took a while, before he started to actually like be around her. But I didn't know. Did you know he was the one before they were introduced? I didn't know he was the one. I didn't know how he was with kids. He didn't have kids prior to. You know what I mean? So
Actually,
I didn't know.
I actually didn't like kids at all. Like if anybody knew me before, like my nephews and them really came around, I wasn't the kid guy.
Yeah, like I personally did not know how he would be.
Yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
But I found out that he was the one when we were all together. Like when we would go out or when we would do certain things, like little family outings that he was showing me little signs, and I would do things with her as a mother that he would be like, well, I don't think you should do that. I think you should do this. Think about it. Try it out. That's when I knew that he was definitely the one. It was a comment up here.
Is it a question?
So there's a question: is 6 months too early to be serious in talking about marriage?
It depends on your relationship with the person. It
Like,
depends on the communication, the chemistry.
You could meet the love of your life tomorrow. Who's to tell you that that's not going to be? I don't believe in a time frame in terms of discussing marriage.
Right.
Discussion for marriage can happen anytime it wants to.
Mm.
You taking that step towards it, that should take time because I don't feel like you can know somebody in that short of a time to where you want to spend the rest of your life. But the discussion of marriage, that can happen in 3 weeks if that's the love of your life. Right there, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always knew.
She asked, her question is that settling? I don't think it's settling. Y'all married, you know? You already been doing it for 2 years, so stick it out. Like, you guys are gonna go through ups and downs. I wouldn't consider it as settling. You
No.
guys are gonna go through ups and downs, but talk about it, discuss what you can do to fix it. Like, whatever the issues is, whatever the situation is, try to do what you need to do to fix it as a team. Like, both of you guys work on it, both of you guys talk about it, both of you guys get it together. But being married for 2 years, to me, you're not settling. Like, you know what I mean? Work it out. Try to work it out.
And what's 2 years? Like, yo, to me, marriage is supposed to be forever. What's 2 years
Yeah,
to
so
forever?
you got like a whole, you had time. You have time to switch it up. You have time to
grow,
yeah. You have time to grow,
learn.
individual growth. Like you have time to do that, and also growing together. Like you have time. So
Check to see if there's any
I
comments in
checked.
your section. You should check again.
I have none.
So how you wanna wrap this up?
Look.
We've been here for a long time.
We about to call it.
Whatever happened to people having friendships before jumping into things? I see this all the time. Why is it on the friendship scale of a lot of females?
Me and him did that.
Well, you know why? Because a lot of y'all want to do this friendship and placing someone in a friend zone. I have no understanding of why women choose to do that. But I mean, it depends. Like, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with somebody if I can't even articulate with them the way I want to be in terms of being myself. So
As
you
far
gotta
as
be my
people
friend
being
for that.
scared to be friends first, I can't speak on that because just because me and Ball was having sex doesn't mean we weren't friends. We weren't in a relationship. We was having sex, we was having fun, we was living our best lives.
Look at me.
So we was still getting to know each other. You know what I mean? Like we took our time with that. We were friends. We were friends for some time. So I feel like people should start doing that. You know what I mean? Like people feel like just okay, as soon as we go on one date, now we boyfriend and girlfriend.
Hell no.
Like people should start being
You
friends.
go on a
more.
date every day. I don't mean I want to be with you.
Right.
What if I
Like
enjoy
be
your company?
friends, right. What if I enjoy your jokes or some shit? Like be friends. Friends are cool. Me and Ball were friends for some time and then, you gotta set the ground rules. But thank you guys. Sex is going to be next Sunday.
Yeah, and sex is gonna be
7
tricky.
p.m.
Sex is gonna be tricky.
Wow.
Cause like you have to get into details.
What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean?
Like,
how are we
how
gonna
we be
discuss
doing?
sex? Not to an extent, but you have to be able to express yourself to your spouse.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought you were talking about, like, what we was going to have to be discussing, like.
Oh, stop. Stop.
That's all right. What you mean?
No, I mean, like, yo, that's why if you're not friends with your spouse or y'all don't have that type of relationship, how can you even articulate the things you want to do or the ways you're not being pleased? So, I mean, sex is definitely, it's going to play a major aspect. Especially in today's time, man, where sex is everywhere. Advertised in every aspect of the world. It's very tricky. And sex is one of the main reasons marriages don't work. Infidelity. So, like, that topic next week is going to be extremely
So
informative.
tune in next Sunday at 7 p.m. When Bar did that little mishap earlier. I don't know, but we gonna figure it out, guys. But we're also working on the YouTube thing. So
We'll have the YouTube link up on Shatia's page as well. Definitely, please share both, comment on both, The
I
more people,
appreciate
the
all
better.
the comments and all of the questions that we had for today. That was really, really good.
Yes, and look that we had a really good one too with the kids. The person that spoke about like asking for Shatia, that one really took me involved. And Takira, your questions were extremely informative. And EJ,
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in. So hearing from a man's perspective is extremely, extremely informative for me. So you guys
A
have a blessed
man
one.
who's married
A
and
man's
around
perspective.
the same age.
And we actually EJ's a month, a day older than me.
Yeah.
Or 2 days. I think he's June
Recently
18th.
married, so
Yeah,
that was
recently
good.
married.
It was
That's why I
good
said
to
like
have
it's
him.
very good to get that type of opinion.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
bless up. You guys be safe and tune in next week.
Have a good night, guys.
I know everybody gonna tune into the second one. This is going to be most important.